Hey there, welcome to Carcassonne tonight with two matches. First off, it's Fox versus dremkad, and later on we'll have mtuu versus Tito Arce. So both Fox and mtuu could still reach the playoffs. Fox needs a 2-0 win to leapfrog Glovia and Alexei because she has worse opponent match wins, tiebreakers than these two. mtuu later, on the other hand, will qualify for the playoffs with any win. So that are the stakes here. Of course, Tito also would like to win to snatch one of the top 4 spots here. So let's focus on dremkad and Fox for now. dremkad came close to reaching under 700 elo master threshold. As far as I know, he hasn't made it so far. Maybe we'll have a bit of time later to check that. Fox, on the other hand, is a master, currently rated around 600. I don't know. Let's check. 28. Yeah. If it weren't for, I think it was mtuu. Yeah, Fox's match versus mtuu, where she played some very weird moves. Actually, I definitely would favor her today, but these moves leave me a bit skeptical here. So I'm not totally convinced of her strength, but we'll see. So yeah, BGA tournament should have started a minute ago. So then let's check whether dremkad is a master or not. If he were, then he should have the 700 elo, I don't know, badge somewhere. Nope, there's only the expert rating. I think the 700 elo master badge should be around 500, 600 XP, and it's not here, but looks like he's an avid arena player, basically reaching the Elite League every season, more or less at least. So we'll see. Again, Fox needs a 2-0, everything else, and she's done with this Champions League season. Opponent match wins, I think she was at 10, and Alexei and Glovia are at 15 or 16 respectively, so no chance to get them. Yeah, and later at the rather weird starting time of 21:18 UTC, there will be mtuu Tito, of course. We'll see whether this match here will be done by then, or whether there might be a few minutes of overlap. Interesting choice. Take the road this way. Could have considered just turning the route to the monastery and taking the city, actually, to exactly prevent stuff like that. Yeah, this year, for example, if you're gonna harass the city, oh man, it starts great today. Harass the road. Why not just take the city? Build it up. In some cases, blue has to do something over here, and at least you'd get some compensation. And in other cases, let's give blue a shielded horse. Yeah, what will blue do? Of course, they'll take this. So just gifted them these 4 points. You hadn't taken the 2 or maybe 3 points yourself. That's a 7-point flip. which I don't comprehend. Yeah, dremkad thinking about it. I mean, sure, the situation up top isn't ideal. Gets restricted to the same dagger that he already needs for the monastery, so that definitely will become crucial for blue to have a chance in this match, in this game rather. And he at least gets away with this city without it being restricted to the left-handed dagger, which is only once still in the deck. So meepling this cap was rather risky, exactly because of this situation. Basically with anything, Fox would go over here to harass the top city and hopefully attack the bottom right city. Yeah, so far, sure. dremkad has all the points, has these monasteries, city, road, but the meeple situation definitely isn't ideal. So in the long run, it could become very dicey thing here for him, unless he at least gets this monastery resolved here. So an early dagger would do wonders for him. And in this situation, I'd rather go for immediate completion of this city. Definitely not attacking this up top. Else you might see 3 of your meeples die versus 1 by yellow. Yeah, but also usually a meeple here would be fine, would be necessary actually to prevent yellow from harassing your city with tempo. But in this case, when you already have 6 invested meeples and there is not that much hope to get them back in quick fashion, so at least these 4 here will take a while, you'd rather hold on to your remaining meeple. And I don't like this quad city at all. Sure, it would be annoying to kill this monastery, but I'd rather bite this bullet than give yellow the chance to restrict this city to a 50-50 or attack it. But at least he gets a bit of revenge by restricting yellow's 2 monasteries to the 1 remaining left-handed dagger, and even gets to save the option to close the monastery. And the good news for blue, of course, here is there are still 3 out there. Yeah, yellow rather goes for the kill here, doesn't try to attack this, which definitely is the way to go with 3 cows already gone and the city being quite unlikely, as again there's only 1 of these daggers left, plus in yellow's case here only 1 option to unite these, so doesn't make any sense at all. At least some good news for blue, they get a road end here and might even close this city from the right side, take it, and then they'd still have the daggers, although by now there are only 2 left, only 1 left. So definitely nice draws for yellow here. Hey Matt. Yeah, I mean, if you know you get a straight and your opponent doesn't defend, well, then it's okay. The problem was Fox here going for this attack. She could have just meepled the city over here, which would have been the way better move than going for this attack. And then yellow wouldn't have this problem at all. So it's actually not due to the quad city, but it's due to yellow's move afterwards that this situation exists at all. Yeah, pressure on blue. What to do there? Hope for the starting tile or go for the horse? And this is what you should do. There are still 2 horses claiming these 4 points or the city. To me, it seems totally fine. Else there are just way too many tiles out there to restrict the monastery to the dagger. And that's exactly the dagger you need here. So diversifying your options by creating the spot for the horse seems to be a good priority. Oh, yes. Why did yellow place this one there? Why not over here? To execute the restriction I just talked about. Yep, and exactly moves like that, like this one over here. That are the moves why I really can't see Fox as a legit candidate for, let's say, the quarterfinals in this Champions League. They're just too many not ideal, imprecise moves. Sometimes even killing the game, like I think it was the second game versus mtu. So by now, blue's early lead of, I don't know, plus 20 evaporated due to this monastery tower here. I mean, we are talking about monastery stacking, but this is a stack. This is just a tiny cluster. So 1 horse gone, and of course the threat to kill this, which blue can avoid, should avoid. And with their situation right now, they even have to leave this empty. They just have to wait. Trouble is, this situation here is still not resolved. But at least the good news, yellow hasn't gotten any curve to restrict this to the dagger as well. But here we go. There is the last horse. Why? Why not take 3 points? Is it so useful to open up this ruin again? Are there so many big tiles out there? I don't see any missing. All are on the board. Just for the Doritos? I don't get it. Am I missing something? Oh, this looks nice. Yeah, so blue's dagger here is gone. Blue's monasteries are dead. The city is dead. The only of blue's meeples that's still alive is this road meeple here. But at -20, and yellow's still having a chance to get this one back. And especially that one here would come with a farmer immediately. Yeah, why not drop the farmer now? This one is done. Not enough runway for blue, not enough meeple power to do anything about it. And again, this one is still there. Four points, another cap to the field. Totally fine. And finally, blue gets the road closed. After waiting roughly 2.5 eons. Okay. At +30, doesn't really matter. But of course, the biggest feature is this 12-point field. And if blue were somehow able to pad this field while also attack it and take it over with their two meeples, they might still have had a, I don't know how, but might be a chance. At least looks like yellow still thinks there might be a threat. Anyway, with this here, it's sealed. Because this takes away the prime attacking spot into the field. Another one is on the right side through the dagger, but this dagger would give yellow 2 meeples and 3 points, so isn't the way to go, and especially not if you need 2 meeples to attack the field. Then there'd also be the 7 possible 10-point road. Yeah, there's just no hope for blue. I think sometimes it's totally okay to just roll over and die. So in the end, this move here, I mean, I totally get it. I don't mind it at all. They could have gone, though, with a more cautious option. But that's, to me at least, just hindsight. I definitely respect the more aggressive approach. But the Colombian takes his time, trying to figure out whether there is still something he could do. I don't think there is, but I missed one really nice field attack. This one connecting with the curve. And then at least it would have been a 15-point field plus the vanilla over here. And yeah, so just having more meeples, getting this one earlier, this road meeple, definitely would have helped blue. Just did not work out for them. And yeah, restricting the top two monasteries over here to a dagger would have also helped. But it wasn't to be for blue in this game. So we'll see whether dremkad will come back and oust Fox from the Champions League, or whether Fox, on the other hand, will sweep dremkad and take over both Glovia and Alexei, which would force Alexei out of playoff contention and Glovia in 12th place, with his fate being in Tito's hands, because if Fox here wins, then Tito would need to win versus mtuu, else Glovia would be done for this season as well. But not so fast. There's still at least one game of Carcassonne to be played for her. So in the end, a few points here or there. Tito just takes the field. I mean, could have even taken at least 4 points, minus the 1 to yellow, just to be kind and give yellow a meeple back. But who cares? In the end, pretty lopsided tile distribution, definitely in Fox's favor, which explains the swing from an early significant deficit into then this taking this field here, and or rather the other way around, building the field and then taking it. But even if dremkad had a chance to snatch the field earlier, with this well, tile distribution, and especially the order, not getting anything back here. Quite likely he would have lost anyway. So on to game 2 we go. Let's hope for one maybe a tad more suspenseful. Yeah, 5 moves, 5 normal so far, and then the first interesting decision. And that's totally fine as well. Just take the field. Don't really want to give yellow a road continuation with a farmer. Okay. Yellow decides to go for the field pretty early, and I mean, it could still be walled in here with roads, maybe a horse on the left side. It's rather unlikely, but we'll see. So I'm not in the use this a second farmer that early on camp, at least not with a shielded Dorito. I'd rather have started a city there. But of course, as is common with Carcassonne, your mileage may vary. Juicy monastery spot here. I'd say go for a loop, but not when you are the minority on a possible huge field. So in this case, I might even just go there, protect my city slightly, close the field on the left side, just to prevent it from becoming a huge one. Another straight maybe over here, another curve, and this would be completely contained. And 9 points for 1 meeple ain't that bad. I don't know. Sure, if yellow opts for stuff like that, they'd risk the health of their road as well. In some cases, it might also lead to these two here being on their separate 6-point field. So we'll see. Yeah, looks like it'll be in blue's interest to kill the square down the road, and if not, they might get adequate compensation by just closing the biggest city on the board. Now, for example, it's not a given that blue will go there. I don't actually see no reason why they should. As long as this situation isn't solved, why go there? Especially why cut your road if it might be a dead one in the end? Then you'd rather keep this open to extend it at least to here. Yeah, that's one option, taking away the attacking spot from yellow's arsenal. It's not that great due to 3 triple cities already being gone, but why not? I mean, there's still 4 out there. Yeah, yellow does the next best thing. If you can't attack directly, just hope for another option. Okay, with the third rotary tool, they go there, hoping that blue won't get one of these rotary tools and a triple city without a yellow intervention. Might happen, although it's rather unlikely. And there are still loads of caps to close the city at the bottom. So with this score, I would have just attacked this one. Just try to be on the safe side. Yeah, so blue protected the road a bit, but restricted it at the same time. With all these crossroads still out there, maybe they could have even gone for an indirect attack, hoping to draw crossroads before yellow gets a curve or even the road monastery to kill this. Yeah, there is the rotary for blue. Yellow tries to attack it, tries to restrict this one, but blue gets the defense. And the one question which they have to answer is, do you go for this, restricting this to the 2 horses still in the deck? So getting at least one is a 75% chance, roughly. Or do you go for an indirect restriction? Maybe even like this. Yeah, like this. Although these tiles are almost out, the vanillas as well. So doesn't really matter in this case. This yields 2 tiles that could restrict blue city to the quad and this here as well. The difference being, if blue themselves get the quads, they might use it here and then they'd have these 2 daggers. As with the crossroads like this, they would have only the 1 vanilla to close the city. So this seems to me a tad more precise, and the situation of a forced quad over here might turn up. There aren't a lot of open city sites available. But they nip it in the butt, close the city up top, and now they just hope to get one of the 3 caps that still fit there. Meanwhile, yellow killed the road for good, which does not matter in the grand scheme of things. If blue closes their city, sure, they'd lose the 12-point field. Give 6 to yellow, so that's actually an 18-point swing. But closing the city and getting a 9-point field should be adequate compensation, unless yellow snatches the field beforehand. Then it's not even a given that blue would close the city. It sits at 11 points, so if closed, it would be worth 24. That's a 13-point swing plus 1 or 2 points for the road meeple. But again, 3 points to this farm and a lot more over here. In the end, closing the city would be a net negative move for blue. And the question is, how could they turn this situation around? Or do they even need to turn it around? They're at plus 25, right? But again, 18 points here. Yeah. They take the safe approach. Only one left to close it. And at this stage, blue won't use the rose there. So yellow has to get the rose. And now we'll see the ripple effects of this early Dorito. Monastery is dead. Doesn't really matter. This farmer on a 6-point field is totally fine, but there is another option to connect with the road monastery over here, just in case yellow gets the rose. So actually, yellow should connect here now. Hope to get the rose, maybe the road monastery as well, to then have a huge field with a majority on it. This monastery, even though it's understandable with 4 meeples in hand, but will you really use all the tiles over there, pad it even with the 6-point field? I don't think so. I think just taking the 5 points over here, uniting the fields, would have been the way better move. Again, giving you the chance, even if it hurts, but maybe you have to roll the dice for stuff like that. Now there's only the road monastery left to go here, and that does not really help. Yeah, does not look to me like yellow knew about a possible win condition here. Now we'll see whether they are able to calculate adequately. So again, city is 11, closed is plus 13, road plus 14 to blue, but 3 to this farmer, that's 11, and then 6 more to these, minus 12 blue. Yeah. Yellow just scores 2 points. I don't get it. Am I missing something? Please, if anyone is still there, Otto, Matt, whoever, please correct me if I am totally blind or something, but if you're 30 points behind, what else is there then scoring aggressively, even if it is at the cost of getting your opponent a meeple back? Lousy 2 quick points, just don't cut it. I mean, there are still curves out there, so going over here meepling this, getting a curve, meepling a 6-point field, having this field for you. I mean, at least there would be some fight. Instead, they fight for a 6-point field. What the hell? Yeah, folks, I'm really sorry for my lackluster commentary here, but that is it just fits with this game here. It's incomprehensible to me how you could not go for, I mean, what was it? 14 points for blue, but 21 for yellow, plus this option. I don't get it. I don't understand this. It's not like that is somehow a miracle move or a, I don't know, totally complex or weird field attack, like, for example, in Basiliuk's third game yesterday, when he did not see his roughly 80% winning chance. That was tricky to see. But this year, I mean, that's just have to calculate. Yeah, thanks, Gloria, for the sanity check. Yeah, I don't know what to say, folks. It's underwhelming, it's disappointing. But for all those fans of Glovia and Alexei, it definitely isn't. Because effectively, with this win by dremkad, Glovia is safely in the playoffs. So congrats, G. And I mean, I guess he won't hold that against me. He does some weird stuff sometimes as well, but not as weird as Fox, at least. I mean, at least not these obvious misses. And there was a similar, even way easier situation in the game versus mtuu. where they could have stacked monasteries, which would have been great. Instead, they went for another monastery, which was totally not great, which very likely cost them that game at least, even though in the end they won, which tells you a lot about Carcassonne. I mean, I'm not one of those people who claim Carcassonne is all about luck. Don't get me wrong there, please. So this time, tiles at least equalish. Yeah, actually, tiles in yellow's favor. I mean, getting a 6 of the big cities usually isn't a recipe for success. Sure, you get a nice shiny ruin usually with that much triple cities, but I'd rather have all these Doritos than the cows and horses. Case in point, Yellow City is closed. Blues is not. So Glovier is a big Glovier fan. Yeah. As long as you're not talking about yourself in the third person, it's fine with me. At least we get a decider and get to fill the time before mtu and Tito start. Maybe they might start a few minutes earlier. I don't know exactly. But actually, let's check whether they are going for a tournament or not. And then I'll return to this one here. Yeah, blue prevented yellow's connection. Yellow tries to pressure the city from left side. Seems legit. One dagger is gone, so curve over here. I would definitely be a nuisance to blue. And yeah, blue also threatens this one. Oh, quite likely we should see an indirect defense there. Which, well, sadly for yellow does not work, because blue gets one of the few tiles still out there to kill this immediately. Did I say few? I just neglected the 4 road Doritos, so actually there were 9 tiles to go there, so the chance were, I don't know, somewhere around 15–20% to immediately kill this one. But definitely worse than with the other orientation here. Okay, yeah, so news about mtu and Tito, they indeed will play a tournament which should start according to BGA in 33 minutes, so that might even be 21:20. We'll see later, as long as BGA starts that tournament on time for once. These 2 minutes don't matter. So blue threatens to close the city. And yellow tries to prevent it and is successful. So all these nice and shiny tiles, these 3 shields here, go to waste, but at least this heap of waste is worth 10 points for blue. So it's a 9-point gain for blue here. And by the way, wasn't this a yellow monastery? Why is there no meeple there? I mean, sure, the kill here, okay, I get it, but still, it's a chance to get 9 points plus something more with roads next to it. So why not? Did I say 9? 8 points at least. Why not just go for this, especially in the early going when you still have, at this point, quite likely 6 meeples in hand? Then just take the monastery. Don't let it go to waste. Take a page out of Vika's book, meeple every monastery you have. And there's another one on the left side, and that was a yellow as well, right? Also no meeple. Why the heck? I mean, you get the 2 best tiles in the deck, and then you do nothing except for trying to save your city. They have 3 points more. And on the left, when was this? Was this before the... let me figure this out. It was before this blue... No. Yeah, before this blue Dorito. So they claimed 2 points, not the monastery, instead of using the monastery and waiting for something to restrict this in a meaningful way. Ugh, am I too harsh here, or am I just annoyed and therefore a bit unfair? I don't know. Oh, sorry, G. Yeah, you're right. There's still a match to be played tomorrow that has implications, so I'm not talking about my match. It's horse versus meeple over people, and horse could win 2-0 and leapfrog Glovia. But only with a 2-0, because they are at a 4 game wins versus 4 games lost. So a 2-1 would propel them to 6-5, whereas Glovia sits at a 7-6. So yeah, I wouldn't trust too much in meeple over people, though. I mean, they were able to beat Alexi 2-0, but let's say they hit 2 definitely not bad permutations there. It wasn't that Alexi blundered all the time. So if they play their best and the horse would play their best, I'd still favor the horse. But we'll see tomorrow. So Glovia's best hope then, for today at least, is still Tito. Because if Tito wins again, then this time I'd be correct. Then Glovia would have definitely a playoff spot, as he'd still sit in 11th place, and only horse could still get by them. So while I was on that tangent, yellow claimed the fields, blue equalized, or was it the other way around? No, I think it was first yellow. Blue tries to connect here and is successful, takes the lead, but there is a threat by yellow, which might get severely restricted. There are no field Doritos left. There are no cows left. There is just 1 splitter still in the deck. And on the other hand, there are still 2 horses. And then the splitter or one rotary to close that city. So to me, it looks like this gift here might be a good idea for blue. Yep, and here we go. And it even was just in time, else yellow would have had this really nice threat available. Okay, it looks like yellow doesn't put or won't put all the eggs into this basket, which seems fine to me. There aren't that many options to connect here, only the remaining horse and the one remaining rotorito. So getting the second meeple back, me at least, is the right priority. Leaving this road empty when there's only one crossroads left is fine as well. So that flip might go them. And then we still have good chances even without closing that city. There's the 12-point field in the middle, which blue tries to unite over here. Okay, now the square can only be filled with the remaining crossroads. Sad news for yellow then, though, is they might not have the luxury to go there. Although, at 13 points, 5 here, and with this connection, they take away 3 points from blue and score another 5. That could be worth their while. Meanwhile, yellow goes for the city, even though they could have taken 1 point here. And they immediately get punished by the deck. Blue gets the only piece that could still have closed that city. Yes, so some folks would go here because there's still one tile to connect. But at plus 16, I'd rather see the restriction. Maybe even this way. That city could still be closed and land on blue's field, and you might then also kill this square, which in this situation should be in blue's interest. It wouldn't hurt them if yellow connects here with another farmer, as long as this city stays that way, and maybe this road meeple doesn't get back to yellow as well, then blue could just easily outrun yellow here. They turn it the other way around. I'm not sure. There's nothing to go here anymore. Okay, blue now claims the road. That should seal the deal. Yeah, again, I mean, the field I don't know. If you go here, it's a 12-point move. If you go there, it's an 8-point move. I don't think these 12 points will win you the game anyway. So why not go for direct 6, 8? At least you would have these 8 points in the bag. One reason for blue to turn the cab this way could have been the option for yellow to connect into the bottom field. Although with 3 straights out there, actually that monastery doesn't really matter. Yeah, so this farmer doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If blue adds the straight, oh, and this one? Well, actually, then yellow would only need the horse and could still tie this field. And that actually could work. Was this by design, though? And do they even have enough moves left? Well, if blue helps them, they might. But not anymore. So one move to get this closed, one move to get a meeple. No, they don't need the meeple. They would get it from the city. Yeah, so 15 points. If blue closes this, it's 17 points, but the field then would be worth way more. Yeah, it could still have worked, actually. But it won't happen. Yeah, and now they'll even lose the 6-point field. They only have one move left, and dremkad can just connect yellow's field with their fields safely. Okay, so we have roughly 15 to 20 minutes left until MTU and Tito start. I'll show you the standings. And then I'd like to take a look at this straight by yellow, this move here. So congratulations to dremkad. And now let's take a look at the standings. So Fox lost 1-2. Another threat after Cherry Papa lost, no, actually, Basiliuk lost yesterday. So another threat to Glovia and Alexei sitting here in 11th and 12th place is done with. Now there are only MTU and the horse left. Again, any win for MTU. And he lands somewhere in 7th or 10th place. Yeah, because either he'd win 2-0 and then leapfrog everyone but the top 6. So same tiebreaker as Tito, but one match less one. And if you were to win 2-1, he'd sit behind Wahe in 10th place with no chance to get into 9th. And of course, if Tito would win, let's assess his options. Well, with the 2-1, he'd get into 3rd place. And with a 2-0, he should even force Pakshi into 3rd place. Yeah, because he has the better opponent in match wins. And then there is Horse, who sits at 4 games won and lost. Needs a 2-0 to get by Glovia and Alexei and take either 11th or 12th place, depending on MTU's result. But again, Horse plays tomorrow, at least hopefully, because they definitely aren't the most reliable player. Quite likely, or quite obviously, I should say, they are one of the most unreliable players in this field. Don't know how often their matches did not start on time or had to be rescheduled. Hey Vika, hey Small Red Van. So then let's take a look at the straight move by Fox. So dremkad closed the road for 5, which opened up this chance here. And yellow is down 19 points. City is dead. This city here, by the way, was still alive. And closing this one would have been 5 more points to blue. 2 for equalizing the city. 3 to the farm. Still, I mean, you are too far behind to hope for this city and just this field equalization, I think. That would be 3 moves. And once you close that city, there's the 6-point field, which blue could take from the right side. Or if you don't close the road, blue would at some point and get this city into the field as compensation for this one that wouldn't score twice anymore. So basically, with this square being dead and still 3 tiles over here, it doesn't make any sense at all to attack the top field. No matter where, no matter how, unless you'd get all these 3 straightish tiles, the twin caps to go here, and stuff to attack, you have no chance. There's just no way. Or is there? I'm still in the camp of just take the 8 points here. Then you're down 11, close the city. Sure, it's only a 2-point move, or 3 going to the field. But maybe you would be able to snatch the 6-point field because blue holds onto their last meeple, and then you would be down only 3. And 3 points, well, that would definitely be possible. So I don't think this field should be our winning condition. But let's figure this out. So we have 10 tiles remaining, and therefore 5 moves left. We don't have this here in hand. So if we have 5 moves left, this is one of them. And this has to be one of the first 3 moves of our last 5, else we don't have a second meeple to attack the field, because taking this one over would be a 24-point swing. A 24 plus 5 is 29, definitely a 6 going to blue. So 23. That's just a tad more than the need. But we need to draw these as well. So is there any way with 3 straights to take over the field? And yes, there is. This one? No, there isn't. Is there? There is. This one, and this one, and this one. That could work if blue, I don't know, is there any permutation which they could hit that might them not to do anything? So let's say we get a straight. Yeah, blue won't do anything about that. Blue might hold on to their meeple and won't do anything over here. So we get a curve. Blue did, I don't know what in between. Maybe they just got this rotorito and didn't go over here, which they should. Maybe they just took away the horse move from us, which might be an okay thing to do. I don't know. So if we then would get another straight, or the other straight, or the starting tile, they couldn't do anything against this square except for drawing the horse. Yeah. So bottom line, there might have been an option for yellow with these 3 straightish pieces and the twin caps. Oh, and by the way, they have 6 moves because we use this one over here. But with the 6th move, we have to use the last remaining straight, quite likely. Yeah. So I don't think this here works. Blue isn't that bad. when this curve here, when this connection would land, then blue would know what's up and would do something about it. And they actually could do something about it with all tiles. So I don't see this as a win condition, and even if it might work in a few permutations, to me it just sounds way too unlikely. So I'm still in the camp of just getting these direct 5 points, reducing the loose complete field by 3. So that's 8 points total for yellow, and 8 points is 57 on the virtual scoreboard. That's minus 11 again. Then hope to get this back. Then you might be at minus 9, and you would have 2 versus 1 meeples. There might even be this chance here to get another meeple back. Maybe wrong color, yellow, of course. Get this ruin. And I think that's way more likely to lead onto a path that might have a winning chance. But I mean, yellow chose to just add 1 point to the road, and I don't think that moved the win probability in the right direction for them. So then it's a quarter past. Should start in 4 minutes. So for all those who just tuned in, let's take a look at the situation again. So for Tito, the question is whether he will be able to take one of the top 4 spots, which he would be guaranteed with any win. Ideally, he'd win 2-0 to get the 2nd place, which would allow him, in theory, an easier opponent in the round of 16. But the main goal just is to get there. So you wouldn't need to play the round of 24, which is the case for all those in 5th to 12th place. For mtu, that's the goal, getting there, getting into the playoffs. And he only needs a win, no matter by which score. He'd reach the playoffs. With a 2-0, he'd get to 7th place, to then face Adria or Nollerheim in the playoffs. That will be drawn quite likely tomorrow evening, else Monday. Not privy to when exactly. And with a 2-1, he'd be in 10th place, and then who's sitting in 7-8 in the Space League? I think it's Lazy Boar and I can't remember. Let's check. Lazy Boar and Waiguru. Okay, so mtu has to win to reach the playoffs. If Tito wins, he'd get one of the top 4 spots. That's the stakes here. And let's take a look at our protagonists. So for one, we have Tito Arce with a 16 point something K games played. That might take a while to load. So let's check mtu. I think he has way less. Yeah, roughly 4,000 games of experience on BGA. This peak here doesn't represent his top rating, which is in the 890s, but as that was achieved on one day, and on the same day afterwards, he ended, I don't know, 4 or 5 turn-based games, lost them. The peak isn't shown over here. But does this peak matter? I don't think so. He's a strong player, and that's for sure. And he is the favorite today, but Tito is a master as well, currently in quite good shape, sitting at around 670, 669. So yeah, again, my favorite definitely is mtu. I mean, he was one of my favorites to definitely reach the playoffs, to reach the quarterfinals, to maybe even win the whole thing. So far, it didn't went his way, at least not in some of the matches. So we'll see. It's 20 past, and I hope they'll be starting right now. To be played, yeah, that's good. So MTU is online, just has not joined in this game so far. Here we go. Tito with the starting player advantage in the first game. Slight compensation for yellow. Tito only gets to start the road. And then usual counter with a curve. Yep, this works fine. If yellow would be able to attack, at least they'd threaten the road at the same time. Hey, Blueste. Oh yeah, there's another one who has skin in the game. It's Blueste, who is sitting in 4th place, right? Yep, he's sitting in 4th place, and that's exactly why he hopes that MTU wins, because if MTU wins, well then, Blueste will stay in 4th place and won't have to play a round of 24 match next week, but would have a bye week and jump straight to the round of a 16 in the week afterwards. I mean, you could try to start a Laola. Maybe you'd need more folks though. So the almost ideal diamond-shaped city here. Only the 4th shielded Dorito was missing. I mean, that would have been a tad unfair. So at least yellow was able to stop that from happening. I mean, 4 tiles for 16 points. Does it get better than that? And now we'll see. As long as this is open on the left side, there might be a re-attack happening. The problem for blue, again, their route in the vicinity. Now this does not work. Should switch again, then the tiles are where they should be. If blue attacks here, that would endanger their road, but is it their road? It might not be later. So then this here does not matter at all, and they'd go for the attack immediately. If one of them manages to take this on their own, that would be a pretty decisive swing in this game. I mean, this city is at 8 points with 3 more. That would be a 22-point city at least. And so blue opts to err on the side of caution. Just attack here. If it might become a big ruin, at least it would be your ruin. Yeah, yellow doesn't protect their city. Did not like this configuration at all, which would have frozen this meeple over here until this one was liberated. And now they suffer. Blue gets the perfect tile to restrict yellow, using the dagger to restrict the opponent to exactly the same one. Yeah, the early going here definitely is in favor of blue. There are no huge issues for them. Not even this one here is. Worst outcome might be a kill over here. But then at least this meeple would score 6 points. They might lose this one though. And if they'd lose these two for 6 points each, then we're talking about a very likely meeple majority for yellow in the long run. But if it's 6 points with 2 meeples versus 1 point with 1 meeple, this these net 11 points would be okay for blue. So Tito doesn't mess around, kills it, doesn't go for his highest scoring move. But blue at least gets to save this here. So yeah, it looks great for blue. It really looks great. You just need the connection over here. Might even close the city. Just threaten this one. Maybe yellow whiffs again and can't restrict this one. I mean, ideally, they need stuff like that. Wow. Yellow even invests this one to take away a lot of defense options for blue, because blue doesn't care how to restrict this one as long as it doesn't happen this way. This is fine. City field part up top would be fine as well, because then they'd have 3 tiles to close the city. And this here takes away quite a many defensive tiles from blue. and still gives yellow the chance to either try and go for the quad city, which they might, which they should, I don't know. But that option isn't present anymore. And yeah, blue will go here. Sure, yellow might be able to kill. In an even worse case, yellow might be able to connect. But not going here with the quad would mean, for one, connecting these city parts up top, and on the other hand, allowing the total kills, and I think that would be worse. Yeah. Compensation for yellow by getting the farm. And there are still 2 road Doritos out there. And there's no question blue will defend. The only question is whether they will drop a monk or not. And with 3 meeples in hand, why not? I mean, yellow has a field. It's as of now unlikely that yellow would have a meeple majority in the long run. So blue might be able to attack the field again. So it's definitely not a safe 12 points. And even though, and even then, it's a tight game. So blue has this shot. Blue has still options to attack the field. They could get their road meeple back with only a crossroads, while they might be able to severely restrict yellow's road meeple. There are only 2 curves left, so a curve over here would be more or less devastating for this meeple's hopes of getting back to his friend over there. And then there's even stuff like that. Wow. Problem being for blue, 2 of these connection pieces up top are needed elsewhere. So ideally, they'd get a cap to have the remaining 5 triple cities to close that one up top, which, by the way, also would create a juicy 9-point field for anyone to take over there. Yeah, I'm with Glovier. I don't like this city attack as well, because I don't think you have to go for stuff like that when you have this clear shot here. But it works like a charm. Yep, exactly. I should highlight this. Yep, exactly, Glovier. But with these triple cities still out there, there is some merit to the attack. On the other hand, these triple cities could have fallen into yellow's lap, and then this here would definitely be a shoddy 1 point on meeple. So blue got some help from the deck, which more or less takes care of the game, at least in combination with this farmer. No road monastery left, so there's no way for yellow to unite the fields here. But they found a nice spot, taking this 6-point field, which is rather unlikely to grow, but sets up this 6-point road, which course they'd hope to claim. And at least there's now only one road Dorito left. If that hits for blue, it's game over. But if yellow gets it and gets a straight, they might still have a chance. Oh, damn it. Damn it, it's not a farmer. Oh, God. It's a road meeple, of course. This one doesn't lie there. This one is lying down. Does this change anything for yellow? It does, because they don't have straights to score 6 points. Straight would only score 1 and a meeple back. At least this blue farmer will be stuck at 6 points. Blue with a nice attack over here, which could connect there or through the road Dorito. On the other hand, they could have taken the top side and then connect this way, which would have been one option for yellow to counter blue's farmer. But blue took that one away. So that adds even more tiles to yellow's list of things to draw. So it's a straight to get a meeple back. It's the Dorito to prevent this from being closed. And it's the monastery to prevent this connection. And the curve. So 4 tiles to get. With 5 moves. Not a lot of room for error. Yellow, by the way, with a very nice setup up top. Having an option to use the Dorito. And still a chance to close the city. And why don't you take the threat of the city away? I mean, in a perfect world, after this one here, yellow would have gotten the Dorito. Then the dagger, claiming a 6-point field up top. No, then straight to get the meeple to claim the 6-point field up top. Yeah, it's still possible. It's still possible for yellow. Blue just needs to whiff a bit more. But the problem is this city now will be dead. But yellow has this option to unify their 3-point field with blue's 12-point field. There is the Dorito. 2 tiles left for blue to connect here. And the question for yellow is, do you have to connect now? Or do you go for the city? So the connection would score 9 points for yellow, but that would only be +4, and that's not enough against a meeple in blue's hands. Although it might be, because we need to draw these tiles anyway, so the things that would get into blue's hands are the crossroads. With this dagger, blue would score enough points. Yeah, but with the straight, blue will connect here, and there's no hope. Also, blue just got this one, which takes away this option from yellow to score 11 points. So first one will go to Tito, but closer than it looked like for quite some while here. And this one wasn't really necessary to risk a finished city there. And I mean, there's still one chance for yellow. Blue not being able to figure out the end game, but they are. Yeah, so in the end, it's what, +23, which doesn't sit that right with me after stuff like that. But I mean, yellow shouldn't complain. They got these two here. Else, they wouldn't have had any chance to get back. But at least they found their winning options. So, does this change anything for mtu? Not. He still has to win the match. For Tito? Not really. The only thing that's sure for now is mtu won't reach play 7. Again, Tito being the starting player. This time gets to claim the city. So points are more or less equal. First problems for blue on the horizon. Yeah, and yellow doesn't waste any time to pressure the loose monastery and city field. Can't really do anything about that one, so they take away the prime monastery square, even add a meeple there. Okay, could do that. At least you'd prevent having to fight for a city later there and have options to build it up. Maybe also at least restricting the square to win a tiny mini battle. Interesting way to go about this. So looks like yellow wanted to keep the option to do something about the square, or went or hoped for the kill here and then build a ruin, outscoring in the end maybe blue's monastery even. Interesting choice for blue. There are still 3 Rotoritos in the deck, so you could go for this. Just hope to draw one of them. That's roughly an 87% chance. They are starting player, so a tad better. But with their meeple situation, with only 1 in hand, 1 in the monastery, 2 in a city fight, they opt to get this one back immediately. And now, well, they will defend and might do it this way, because then they have 2 tiles with the shield and 1 without a shield, so 3 horses to close that city. And they even take the road, which is understandable as it's worth 5 points, but it needs 2 road ends. So, I don't know. This could lead to a very iffy situation over here for blue. So that is, or could be, a good chance for yellow to pull this game in their direction. Big question for them, though, is now, do you seize this option and attack? Or do you keep it open and hope to get the curve to force this problem on blue? Yeah, still no curve, but blue gets their horse. Yellow takes a road and a nice field, which could also expand with any curve over here. Yeah, that's a trick or the problem with this road. If you leave it there, I only see the 2 crossroads. And yellow would have, of course, this juicy option available to them. And if you take the road, at least you'd profit whenever yellow would draw a horse to go there, if they'd even use that option. I think yellow is just waiting for a curve here. Yeah, and with this situation, I'm pretty sure yellow won't do anything here. Wow, they just take the meeple back. Whoa. At the cost. What? That's the penultimate dagger. And it could have restricted yellow city to the same dagger, to a 50-50. And there are still 5 tiles over here, even if the road would have been bended into the city. So I think, yeah, this is definitely the better move than protecting both your road and your city. But maybe I'm wrong. Curve. Oh, curve. Yeah, curve. Either here the curve or restrict the monastery for sure. Sure, it's nice to have the field, but yeah, now yellow gets to save the monastery, got to save the city. At least blue gets the road meeple back and threatens this connection. The problem about this connection is it definitely would come with another farmer. But it won't. Yellow will attack this. And the fields are united. And now we have ourselves a big, huge ass field fight. And the only problem for yellow is they have the meeple minority. And there aren't a lot of tiles to get this meeple back. Basically, well, yeah, the daggers are gone, the starting tiles are gone, so there's only the rows here. Or, of course, road Doritos and upper caps, but road Doritos with the inherent problem of possible kills with other Doritos or triple city ties available to blue. That doesn't bode well for yellow, but yellow is experienced enough to play with the meeple minority and still go for a field. And with this score, a tight field might be enough. And then there's the situation with the monasteries. Yellow only needs 1 tile to get the monk back. Blue needs 3. And then there are other monasteries which blue might want to take, which could allow yellow a at least temporarily meeple majority. Yeah, and over here exactly the situation which I sketched. So that's that. Yellow's meeple is dead. And the advantage definitely is blue's now. Although at least they'd have to add something to yellow. They definitely won't go here because there is still a splitter out there. Or maybe even this way would be interesting. So it is either this move or that one. Yeah, forced quad, as Glovier mentions, would have been lovely. So yellow closing this one. And then removing the last open city space. Might have been an option, but isn't. So blue. No. Never ever should you do that. Don't try this at home. Not if there's still a splitter out there or something else to attack the city, which in this case isn't, but there's the splitter and it hits. What do you do now? Just connect to take these points or roll the dice on getting the field Dorito before your opponent gets one of the 3 straights or crossroads. MTU a year ago might have gone for this. MTU today should go for this move. We are talking about 13 points. Even though these 13 points won't win the game, they'd open up the door for a fieldless win. This field is worth 12 right now. Field attack. Yeah, didn't mention this. Wrong icon. That city is dead, but it scores a lot for yellow. Blue can't connect. Should connect. Might not, though. They might be enticed to help their monastery. There are still enough tiles to connect here of all configurations. So with city or field or roadside up top, all still available at least multiple times. Yeah. They will defend, even though it's not ideal, leaving the city cap open for yellow to claim and then they don't defend. Wow. I mean, any curve kills here, and the defense would have granted them 3 tiles to get the meeple back. Yeah. Nice move by yellow. Very nice move. Also a very nice move by blue, having 2 Doritos to close that city. This here forces blue, if they want to get this meeple back, to use vanillas there, because now they'd use Doritos at the bottom. Nice orientation. Cow kills. Doritos kill. Curves kill. These crossroads would kill. The monastery, the road monastery would kill. Yeah, and I mean, even vanillas could be used to restrict this to 50-50 at least. Not that this example might be a good choice, though. So in the end, I think this should be the move by blue. Then only the 2 curves would kill their city. Wow. No. I don't think so. Yeah, this would be lovely by MTU, right? Restricting the monasteries to exactly the one and only remaining vanilla. Yeah, that's just lovely. That's just lovely. And even if blue gets the vanilla, well then at least yellow gets 6 points and the first dips on the 6-point field up top. And that should be their win here. Yeah, and it is. It is because no, it isn't. There is an option for blue here, and this is this one. Taking away, in some permutations, the chance for yellow to immediately drop a farmer after the vanilla. So this is a net -4 move. But yellow would have... no. You had to go there. So that yellow can't take the 6 points with the curve. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's doesn't matter anyway, but what does this do? Well, it takes away the field attack, okay, but yellow doesn't need to go for the field attack. They have other ways to score. Although, maybe actually yellow would need to go for the field. But I don't think so. I think if blue closes here and yellow takes the top field, then yellow would be at +10. But the road monastery and what else was out there might have still worked for blue. Yeah, it could have, but not in this permutation, with this permutation here. So getting the meeples back, then the road monastery, and then something to claim the road with the premise that yellow would claim the field up top. If I'm correct, that would be a +1 for blue. But it didn't happen, and we get a decider. Which blocking square are you talking about, G? So in the decider, it's mtu to start, and he grabs the first points. The crossroads move. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. It's gone. Not defending blue's one-piece city. The one at the bottom. Yeah, that definitely was a huge mistake. So we'll see whether this maybe unnecessary loss will have any possibly psychological consequences. Hey, P-chan. Yeah, so some folks would just go there, maybe even this way. Others prefer to open a new city. And, well, then there are even the aggressive types go for this one or this one. With the move at the bottom quite likely being the worst of the bunch. And this here, though, definitely not ideal. A city attack in one of these 8 squares around your monastery is always shoddy. I shouldn't say always, is in most cases shoddy. Because 2 of your meeples depend on filling this 1 square. And in some cases, you might not have the luxury to wait for a triple city, but would need a Dorito, which opens up a can of worms that you'd rather not open up. But in some cases, you are forced to do stuff like that just to get this monastery liberated. And mtuu even doubles down on the city. That is a rather risky approach. Now the restriction happens. Good news for yellow, there are still all 5 road Doritos in the deck, but bad news on the other hand, 2 of the horses are already gone. And blue will go for a restriction, but not yet. Yellow takes away one of their meeples there, and rightfully so. It was unlikely to take over the city. And this here is the perfect tile for blue. Not with the meeple, because 2 horses are gone. It just does enough damage as is. Ideally, that now after yellow's semi-safe here would get the twin caps to claim this one. And they might still opt for this one. They don't. They'd rather go hunting for another scalp. And are somewhat successful. Could restrict this to 2 remaining starting tiles. One of the twin caps in yellow's hands, so at least one of these disastrous moves by blue is averted for now. I mean, the chances are reduced rather. It's definitely not averted. It's still possible. So let's say these are critical for now. I mean, blue needs to score some points, so yeah, okay. Yellow starts a new city, drops the other cap in a safe space. And only has 1 meeple in hand. But road tiles to get 1 back, caps to get 1 back, the starting tiles. Oh no, not road tiles. They need to fill this square as well. Else, I would pack them on this move. But with their last meeple, it's risky, especially because this connection doesn't really work for them as long as there are still starting tiles out there. So he only goes for a slight restriction. A slight restriction, though, that gives blue with a triple city the chance to close this huge thing here with 2 Doritos. So definitely not ideal. Yeah. Was this meeple there now necessary? I don't think so. So 3 casualties up top. Tito closes one side of the city. Yellow at least gets the meeple back. And Tito's still down. So even closing that city doesn't win him the game. But if he'd force yellow to attack, then yellow's meeple situation might be profitable enough for blue to make up for the scoreboard difference. But they restrict the city to the 2 remaining field Doritos. There's no cow left, no splitter, but the straight ain't ideal to pressure this one. We'd rather use a curve to have the straights to kill this and not straights for your opponent to defend. Yeah, so blue could play it safe, just equalize yellow city. They could do this one, but they just go for a loop road. Okay. The problem with this move would have been this double restriction. Yeah, and yellow just equalizes blue's city. Why not? They are still ahead. They still have a chance to kill us. They still have a chance to get these meeples back. Again, a straight does not work. But the more straights are gone, the likelier it gets that yellow would even use a straight. They don't get anything better, but for now, I don't see them wasting a monastery here. Not if you have a 6-point spot available. Oh, by the way, I didn't praise blue for this move. That's how you use road monasteries. Nice setup, lots of curves still to go. Not taking 2 points. When you have a chance like this to get 2 back, I like this. Even if it puts a strain on the few meeples you have in hand. Where did blue place the straight? Up top? I think so, right? Yeah, then this here definitely would have been the better move, taking away a lot of options from yellow. Road monasteries, the road monastery, curves. Yeah, yellow fought a while whether to meeple this road end, and they get punished for not doing it. So will they invest this dagger now to... Yep. This answers my question. He did. And what'll blue do? Play it safe? Close this? Have a 75% shot at getting this juicy countly 12, so at least scoring additional 14 points. No, not at least, exactly, because both shielded field radius are gone. Or on the other hand, do you go for this one here, which would give yellow only the quad city to kill this one? So the difference is, do you give yellow a chance to kill your city? A roughly 1 in 3 chance? Or do you give them 3 points and the meeple back for your chance, a 75% chance, to score 14 points and get your meeples back? And at -4, my answer would have been give yellow the points. Wise restriction by yellow, so blue needs the same Dorito there, which they need to close their city. 1 Dorito in yellow's hands. Another Dorito in blue's hands, but it is on the road and it doesn't help them a lot, but at least they get this one back and might even claim the 6-point field. They don't. They'd rather opt to keep both meeples in hand, and yeah, that sounds fine. The real question, a real interesting question, would come later if yellow might get the twin caps. Would you use them over here just to claim the field as compensation, or score these 7 points as compensation? Or would you wait? Ah, shame. It would have been so lovely. But blue closes the city, takes a commanding lead on the scoreboard, has the meeple majority, takes the field, which is very wise. And, well, yellow now is down 12. For sure, they play next to the monastery and claim the field now. The only question is, where exactly do you place that curve and how? This seems to be, yeah, this is the best spot. There are still monasteries out there and they need to score big now. They need to score this cap, but they might not get to use it. And if you're blue, do you even claim this 1 point? Or do you go there, knowing full well, he doesn't. Wow, just takes nonchalantly a 6-point field with potential. And, well, the question goes back to yellow. Do you claim this? 8 points. 8 points are 8 points. Or do you take this away, hoping to get the monastery? No, actually, to get the twin caps and then the monastery. Yeah, safe move it is. Monastery for blue. 6 points here. Yellow gets the meeple back. And these 7 points for blue should do it, unless yellow takes this over this way. And mtu sees it. I mean, he has to go for it. What would that entail? Well, -9 blue, +6 yellow. That's a 15-point swing, and that's exactly what yellow needs. But this is exactly what yellow doesn't need. Oh, not a 15-point swing, by the way, a 13-point swing, as 2 points for this curve would go to these monasteries. And that option is dead in the water if blue sees that they can kill this. If they don't, well, then there is a 1 in 6 chance for yellow to execute that stuff. But blue actually should just go here, right? That's a 7-point move for them. And then there's nothing anymore for yellow. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, shame. There's a 6-point field. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. Oh, I missed this. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. He doesn't get punished. What a shame, actually. He had 2 options to win the game. I'm not so sure about that. Man. Yeah, so for one, let's take a look at the tournament standings. See whether this is already updated. It is. So mtu for now stays in 14th place. And this then is the third who wasn't able to win when they had the chance to secure a playoff spot. Now there's only one left who could still take over. Lovia and Alexi, and again, Horse tomorrow will play against Meeple over People, and frankly, I wouldn't have had any problem if their chances would have been at 0% by then. But now that they still have a chance to reach the playoffs, I might stream that one because Alexia and Otto won't, at least according to my knowledge. So then Tito secures the third spot. Luste drops down to 5th and will have to play a round of 24 match. And let's take a look at Tito's moves here in the end, especially the twin caps. I think he had 2 moves to win the game. I hope I wasn't wrong there. So Tito is at +10. Yellow doesn't have a meeple in hand. I mean, you have to see this one. You have to. And I hope I'm not wrong. So 6 points to yellow, -9 blue, +2 blue. So that's 13 points for yellow. And they are starting players. So blue would only need to score 3 points. So, I mean, then it's totally irrelevant what blue does now with the twin caps, because they'd always get this one here to claim that and this one, and maybe they have calculated this. So it doesn't actually matter. But still, going over here or there would have won them the game on the spot if it weren't already won, that is. So it doesn't matter. But I mean, I wish it would have mattered, and I wish it would have lost them the game not to go over here or there. But maybe they just calculated it all and knew they'd win no matter what they did at this point. So I'm sorry if I was a bit unfair here in this situation, but I totally missed the 6-point field, and I did also not see the 5-point road here. So, and even if these two would not have been available, the road to Rito is with the shield, so any of these would have been enough, or this, or the 3-point roads, or one of the 3-point roads created by yellow. All these would have been enough for blue. All these moves would have secured a tie. So yeah, it didn't look flashy. It didn't account for this connection option, what blue did with the twin caps. But it also didn't matter unless I'm again mistaken, which, you know the drill, might be the case. Okay, so let's take a look. I think Horse's match is the only one of relevance, and it is. Horse, there's only one left in the Space League, which does not matter at all. 2 folks here with 4 matches, UI Scooty and myself, and well, we just play for fun by now. I guess both, well, he definitely would have expected otherwise, and well, I'm in the same boat. Did not work out as intended. So I'll see you tomorrow at 19 UTC for horse and meeple over people. which will decide whether Horse will make the playoffs, and it will decide whether Alexei will make the playoffs or not. Hey, Kolpnik, I don't know. It's going. I'm going because we are done here. So thanks for tuning in. Have a good night or whatever, a good evening if you are in the Western Hemisphere. A good day if you're in Asia. I'll see you at 19 UTC for Horse Meeple over People. Thank you, Kolpnik, even though it doesn't matter anymore. So bye, folks.